I'm feeling PS2. I feel like I'm missing something. The hell? Oh yeah, Stretch Panic. I forgot I owned this. Treasure made this one as well. Treasure is one of my favorite developers of all time. They were a company formed by ex-Konami employees after they had enough of Konami's shit. They don't really do a whole lot nowadays, but in their prime, they made some of the most cool and unique games out there. There's really nothing quite like a Treasure game. Their style is so distinct. I feel like a lot of their games do take some time to get used to. They can be hard to wrap your head around sometimes, but they were never too overbearing in my opinion. Hell, they were able to make a damn McDonald's Sega Genesis game good. I'm serious, that game is great. So when I found out about this game, I was definitely intrigued. It's got that same distinct Treasure art style from games like Silhouette Mirage, for example, but now it's in 3D on the PlayStation 2. Treasure has never let me down, so I think this is gonna be pretty good. Oh, who am I kidding? Let's just put this thing into the Dreamcast stand, also known as the PlayStation 2.
Stretch Panic!
Okay, so here's the opening cutscene of the game, and this is the main protagonist, Linda. Her character design is great. It's very Treasure, and okay, what the hell is going on here? We have Linda carrying a stack of boxes, then a truck passes by here, completely blowing away her giant stack of boxes. The cutscene just kind of keeps going and is quite vague as to what is actually going on. Like, what the hell am I even looking at? Now after that, she gets dropped into whatever this room is. So this is like the main hub area. It's quite odd. It's almost completely black and white with this kind of freaky but cool music in the background. Kinda weird, but I dig it. Let's go check out one of the levels, which are located in these doors here. There's no way. What the hell is this? Why are the enemies these girls with giant breasts? And I mean giant breasts. They are enormous compared to the rest of their bodies. This is very disturbing, and oh, you can touch them too? Okay, so I guess I have to defeat all of them to progress, and it seems to be more effective to defeat them from their backs. Even has a little indicator telling you to do that. Okay, so I killed them all. I guess on to the next level. Well, I gotta say, this level here actually has some pretty decent lighting effects, and fuck this shit. Well, that was Stretch Panic for the PlayStation 2. Sure feels good not having to play that game. I mean, geez, I cannot believe Treasure would make something that would upset me this much. Oh, shit. Gee whiz. Well, I might as well keep playing because don't really got anything else better to do, so I'm gonna go get it. Alright, so what exactly are you even doing in this game? Let's start with the plot, and we're gonna have to resort to the instruction manual of this game to actually get an idea of what is even going on in it, because this game barely attempts at even telling a coherent story. Things just kind of happen. So Linda lives with 12 sisters who are all obsessed with clothing and makeup and only talk to compliment each other. Linda does not understand her sisters, and the only piece of clothing Linda truly loves is a green scarf given to her by her late father, which her sisters make fun of her for. Now this is where the plot actually starts to get visualized in the game. Remember all those boxes Linda was carrying? Yeah, that is makeup that her sisters made her pick up from the store. As we saw earlier, she struggles to carry these boxes, and a truck passes by almost hitting her, which causes Linda to lose control of the boxes. That truck makes a stop at Linda's house, leaving a package with the sisters wondering what it is. The box reveals a door, which causes this blinding light that Linda notices from outside the house. She enters the door that was from the package her sisters got, and as she goes through this door, her scarf becomes possessed. Linda's sisters have also become possessed and turned into monsters, and now she must save them. Now that opening cutscene makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? And I won't lie, reading into the story of this game was actually kind of interesting. I just wish that, they could have told it in the game instead of being super vague about it, especially since they went out of their way to make an opening cutscene. But whatever, because to be honest, we've got bigger fish to fry with the gameplay, so let's get back to that. So the scarf is now possessed, and as you may have noticed earlier, the scarf is the central mechanic of this game. You use this scarf, which has a hand on it, to stretch things. The back of the box even brags that this game has stretchticity technology. Whatever that means. I will give them this. The stretching mechanic is definitely very unique and different, and I honestly respect it as a concept. It's somewhat in-depth to an extent, and I will explain how it all works. So Linda moves pretty slow overall, but it's really not that much of a hindrance. You will notice that you cannot use the right analog stick to move the camera around, as that is used for moving around your scarf. Once you've figured that out, you will need to use the R1 button to extend your scarf so you can stretch things. Now, it's kind of hard to grab onto something with the camera following you around, and that's where the L1 button comes in. Pressing the L1 button will let you lock onto enemies, and it sets your camera at a fixed position where you sidestep instead of freely walking like normal. It will also give you an indicator showing you the weak spot of an enemy. When you grab onto an enemy, you can begin the process of stretching. There's two ways you can attack an enemy. There's this spin attack that you can use by rotating the right analog stick, and this sort of flicking snap attack. Both have their pros and cons in certain scenarios. There's this really awful object throwing attack that is just not intuitive to use. Grabbing onto these tiny objects is a total pain, but once you do grab onto it, you need to use R3, also known as pressing down the right analog stick, which will throw the object. And if you miss, you will need to do this incredibly annoying process all over again. Needless to say, I didn't find it very useful. Another thing I didn't know about was the scarf bomb attack. You activate this by grabbing onto the boss and pressing down the left and right sticks. It can be a very effective attack for dealing with bosses. And this scarf bomb attack also requires that you have 5 points in order for it to work. That's another thing about this game, the point system. You need these points to enter the doors in the main hub, but thankfully the points are plentiful. Remember those levels with the big boob ladies? Yeah, those levels are for grinding out the points, because the main attraction of this game are the boss fights. Now, if you've played a Treasure game, you will know that they love their boss fights. A lot of their games put a pretty big emphasis on bosses, and with a game like Alien Soldier, it's basically entirely boss fights. Stretch Panic takes the same approach as Alien Soldier by basically having the entire game consist of boss fights, which isn't a bad thing, but I really find it to not work very well for this game. The gameplay just isn't really good enough for the game to just be boss fights. This is pretty much all you do in the bosses. You grab onto the boss, decide on which way you want to stretch it, rinse and repeat. Now, of course, there's more to the game than just that. Like, I won't lie, there are, at times, some interesting boss fights every now and again. But on the whole, the majority of them aren't great, and they truly did not stick out to me very much. These bosses are your sisters who you need to save. As we talked about in the plot, they got turned into some quite freaky looking monsters. Just some truly horrible abominations. What's interesting is that each of their character designs are supposed to represent each sister's interests and or obsessions. One of them, Cinder, has a weird obsession with fire, so in her boss, she breathes fire. Another named Jelly-chan loves sweets, so in her new form, she's whatever this is. Well, I can definitely say these character designs are creative and imaginative at the very least. So that was Stretch Panic for the PlayStation 2, and overall, what do I think? Okay, so it's not a bad game. Well, it kind of is. I really wish I could have liked this one because it's a treasure game and I love treasure games. But the gameplay is just not very fun. It's interesting, I'll give you that, albeit only for a little bit. I just overall don't find the gameplay to be compelling enough, even though it is unique. It's just really slow and boring and repetitive. It's just, Not even its weird and unique visual style redeems it. It's not like this game couldn't have been good or was even doomed from the start. I like its ideas for sure, but it just wasn't executed in a way that was particularly enjoyable. Let's compare Stretch Panic to another game to show that games with really out there concepts and gameplay can work and be enjoyable. Now, I know these games came out a couple years after Stretch Panic, so it's not entirely fair, but the Katamari games are good examples. These are games that don't play remotely like any other genre with a really weird gameplay concept, much like Stretch Panic. But unlike Stretch Panic, they are still really fun to play. I mean, did this game really deserve to win IGN's Best of E3 award? They must have been big Treasure fans. So I pretty much got everything covered that I personally want to talk about. Am I forgetting anything else? Oh yeah, for some reason this game came out in North America and Europe before it came out in Japan. That's really weird, isn't it? It also got a different name across all the regions, which I found to be interesting. But anyways, if you decide to check this game out, I hope you enjoy it much more than I did. And who knows, you might end up enjoying this unique, stupid, weird-ass game more than I did. I really don't know how to end this video.